Tani, who is this? So you're doing okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is TribeXTalks, and today we are going to be discussing the culture of silence. Right. So, in what manifestations do culture of silence exist?
Okay, since we are talking in the context of Muslim women now, I'm going to mention that there's always been an ideal way to be a Muslim woman, and she's not supposed to, her voice is not supposed to be heard. She's not supposed to be seen because she's like the entire, the totality of her being is fitna, that kind.
Are you defining the ideal Muslim woman? Is that the right one or the wrong one?
Yeah, exactly. Is that really a right?
Is that the right ideal? Is that the ideal Muslimah or?
That is not the ideal Muslim.
Exactly. Because the way you were saying it sounded like you are being sarcastic.
Yes, I'm being sarcastic.
Okay. Just so that we cleared that up. She's being sarcastic.
Yes.
The ideal woman can.
For example,
be
I
heard.
remember when I was in uni and probably we'll be having MSS programs, and there was a day I was going to ask the lecturer, the guest, a question, and I was like, please pass me the mic. And then the sister in charge, it was even a sister, it wasn't even a brother. The sister in charge was like, no, sisters, you don't get to speak into the mic, you just write down. And I said, I want the mic. And she said, no, the mic is only for brothers. And I was like, why? She was like, your voice is aura. And I said, oh, so I'm not supposed to talk. Like, I'm not supposed to be heard. I'm just supposed to just, do you understand? Brothers were there asking questions, actively engaging, because the implication is that even when the lecturer answers my question, if I have further question, there's no way I'll ask directly that, oh, since you said this, do you understand? I'm supposed to be on my feet, so I have to write it down again and say, oh, the question you answered as number 3. I have another question based on the answer you gave me.
It doesn't even allow for nice flow of communication.
Interaction. So many people get the concept of the ideal Muslimah wrong. She's supposed to be quiet, she's supposed to be perseverant, she's supposed to be modest. Modesty being, silence being a part of that modesty. So you are not supposed to even raise your voice when you are angry or when something triggers you, because you are supposed to be in your best behavior everywhere, at home, in public, at all times. Whereas the same standard is not applicable to Muslim men because they are men, so there's this gene in them that they are supposed to get angry. So I'm saying that the culture of silence stems from the fact that we have defined the ideal Muslim woman in a certain way, and she has to live up to that. If she's talking too much, they are going to say she's too much.
In fact, she cannot even complain too much.
She cannot be too much of anything.
Yeah, too much is a relative word.
She cannot be too much of anything.
What do you mean by too much
is a relative word? We are
word?
talking in the excess. We're not talking in the thing she's supposed to even say, the thing she's allowed to say. You're saying that she's going too much. So too much, you are aligning to their view that she's not even supposed to talk at all. So if she says something that is right, something that is bothering her, it becomes too much. So she's allowed to say certain things that are bothering her for her mental well-being, for her sanity. She's allowed to express herself.
Although I feel like it's also important to be moderate.
Exactly.
In the things
that is
do.
very important.
Let me give you a very good example. We know this rhetoric of the oppressed Muslim woman that mainstream media is portraying to the world.
Okay.
And we know that in truth, the realities of some Muslim women is that they are oppressed.
Yes.
And they are not speaking up.
Yeah.
Most Muslim women are not speaking up.
Which is what the culture of silence leads to.
Yes. Some Muslim men go through domestic violence. The conservative Muslim side is like, by speaking up, you are giving the mainstream media something to say about Islam, and then you are promoting Islamophobia. For example, if you come to say, okay, I was oppressed, I was forced to wear the hijab, I was beaten. By speaking up, you have given the mainstream media something
Ammunition.
ammunition, like something to promote. So are we going to say that
Because you don't want
because
them to.
the mainstream media will come up and say, yes, this is what happens to Muslim women, or this is every Muslim man's reality, then you are not supposed to speak up? It's like you are caught between two devils, because now, instead of you to address why Muslim women are oppressed and how Muslim women should stop being oppressed, and why you are not supposed to silence Muslim women and give the mainstream media something to say about Muslim women generally, you are asking us to shut up so we won't give. Do you understand?
Well,
Am I
it
making
is,
sense?
yes, it makes a lot of sense. But it is our responsibility as Muslims, as like for example, me as an artist, to be able to tell my own story. If I tell my own story and I also acknowledge other people's stories that this is happening and we need to actually solve these problems. This is unfair. This is not what my Islam preaches. This is not how we're supposed to treat women, for example. So I'm able to like say this is wrong, and I'm also able to say this is also an example of how a lot of women are actually living comfortably in their skin, living comfortably with their faith, and they're not being oppressed.
For example, a working Muslim woman as a mother, she's working, she has her home to take care of. She's not allowed to complain, she's not allowed to express her frustrations from the things she's going through. Because they will tell you, what did you expect? You're not supposed to work in the first place. That is where the narrative of a Muslim woman not working actually got its popularity from. You're not supposed to work, stay at home and take care of the home, then you don't have to complain. But even if you're at home taking care of the home and the baby, is so much to handle too. So you're not allowed to come out and express yourself. You've been home since morning, running around, taking care of the house, taking care of the baby and
So
everything.
it's
You're
your
not allowed
cup
to.
of tea if you are working and you are frustrated.
Exactly. Then that's your cup
But even
of tea.
even if you are not working and you are just at home, it is so much work.
Exactly. It is more than enough.
And the funny thing is that talking a lot, even though it might not seem like it is solving anything, because usually it is actions that solve problems. Sometimes someone talking is helping somebody somewhere else that like can relate to what you're
Then
going
I
through.
discovered that talking relieves a lot of mental stress. You just feel better after thinking about it. After having someone to relate your problem to, and somebody can validate your feelings that, oh yes, really, it's true. It happens like that. And you're like, thank you. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, and you
And
feel a lot better from talking about it.
Sometimes it's not just for some people to validate your feelings alone. Talking itself is sometimes towards bringing change. You have been going through some things that you're not comfortable with.
Yes.
And then you cannot take this anymore.
Yes.
And you have to talk. It's something you have to say. If you don't, there's this saying that I always have at the back of my mind most times, like you only get what you have the courage to ask for. If you are keeping quiet, you cannot get what you want. You just keep suffering. And then when as a community, like collectively as Muslim women, if this is what we do, if we always keep quiet, if we refuse to let out what is within us, if we refuse to open up, the rhetoric will be every Muslim man is oppressed because they are not talking, and they just have to bottle up everything, and it seems like they are always.
Okay, so I actually want to go back a little, like when you were describing the ideal Muslim woman, I do not think that those are necessarily bad characters or traits, but I think that there's a lack of understanding to remember that, okay, while a Muslim woman she's supposed to be modest, she's supposed to be this, the same way Muslim men also have the things they're supposed to be. I feel that the lack of understanding that a Muslim woman is still human and will face life challenges and will deal with different things, I think that's where the problem comes from, in my opinion.
The
Then
thing
what
is
you
that
said about
the bar is raised too high for women, and it is raised too low for men.
It's on the floor for men. The bar is on the floor.
I feel like it's just a
there should not be a
generalization.
difference between who an ideal Muslim woman should be and who an ideal Muslim man should be.
There should be.
There should not
Because
be.
even in the Quran, men have there are some verses where Allah is talking to the men, and there are some verses where Allah is talking to the women. So I feel while there is the general sense of, oh, okay, this is who an ideal Muslim person should be, then there can also be the idea of who this ideal Muslim man should be.
When I say
Put in a
Muslim
box.
women, most of the time we are being spoken for and we are being spoken about. For example, we are discussing something pertaining to Muslim women,
Yes.
and we see that Muslim women are not even coming up to join that conversation. Muslim men are the ones speaking for us. Take for example that time on Twitter when they were talking about menstruation, and some Islamophobic people were like, it shows that Allah really hates women for asking women to not pray while they are on menstruation. That means he sees women as dirty, too dirty to even talk to him. And then we as Muslim men were supposed to be the one to speak for ourselves that okay, this is it. It's actually a mercy from Allah, because menstruation itself is a discomfort. We go through pains, we go through emotional turmoil, different things, and then you want us to pray and fast. Prayer itself is rigorous because it's a physical exercise. It's not like you're just raising your hands up to God and saying, oh, Allah, you understand, but it's physical. And then he has said, okay, abstain from praying, abstain from fasting. And then at that time, I saw Muslim men replying these people saying, yes, they are dirty, they are unclean.
Muslim women.
Yes, Muslim men.
I think
saying
that's
yes.
even.
They were
Then that's
saying,
the problem
so
with
why
the
don't
Muslim men
I had
and
to
the
tell
lack
one
of
of them
knowledge.
then, why don't you allow Muslim men speak for themselves? Must you always jump in every time? This is something that concerns us.
Although
And
that-
then you are painting another picture entirely about the whole thing. And
But
it's
then
not supposed
that
to
is
be.
the lack of knowledge from those men.
Exactly. I wanted to say that.
that.
That's like another subject
And
entirely.
explain lack of knowledge is
Because if a man is
because of lot of
knowledgeable and is
problems.
saying this is a mercy from Allah that we are not allowed to pray
Yes.
while we are menstruating.
No,
if-
but that was not what was said.
I'm saying I'm saying
yes,
knowledge.
they are unclean and they are not fit.
that
And-
is because that person is not knowledgeable and saying something wrong.
It's ignorant.
But in fact, most times what I see is that when we are not speaking for ourselves, a wrong impression of us is always created.
What if a woman legit believes that yes, it's because I'm unclean, that's why I'm
No,
not
because
allowed
that
to
is the
pray.
narrative that we have always heard. We have always heard it's because we are unclean. Nobody has come out to say no. It's not
No, but
actually.
that is where
Technically-
knowledge comes in.
That is just
seek for
ignorance.
knowledge.
But technically, when you are on your period, what it is
It's
that
not-
you are not clean.
Yes, what it is that we are not clean. But then there are so many other things. If it's that we are not clean and we cannot talk to Allah, then it's not.
Yeah,
Because
that's-
you can still read, you can still pray. Yes.
I can
Just you cannot just
memorize
do
the
Salah.
Quran.
You can continue
I can
reading
continue
the Quran.
You can
reciting
say
what I've
azkars,
memorized.
you
It
can.
doesn't have much to do with the fact that I am unclean, because I can still have a relationship with my Lord even when I'm on my period.
Yes.
But Allah saying you are not going to pray during this period, you are not going to fast during this period. It's not even only menstruation. Now look at the issue of a woman that has just put to bed. You can imagine me just popping out a whole ass human being and then having to go and perform ablution the next moment and start praying. Or probably I give birth or sujud. Especially if you have an episiotomy, if you have
A CS.
You can
or probably you give birth in Ramadan and you're still expected to fast. But people will say, okay, it's because of the postnatal bleeding. And when we think of it in the real sense, it's not actually that. It's because of the discomfort that comes with it. Because there are so many other things, there are so many other acts of ibadah we can engage
So
in.
it takes a discerning mind to see that it's not actually because you're unclean that Allah's giving you that permission not to pray, but because of His mercy that you have gone through a lot. So please just stay and rest now and don't come. So you have to, number one, be knowledgeable and have the discerning mind to see the right things for what they are and the wrong things for what they are. I wanted to say the other time, what you were saying about speaking up for change is very important. The Prophet ﷺ told us that when you see an abomination, that's my favorite hadith. You change it with your hand.
If you cannot act
or
on
your
it,
heart. So
use-
talking about
exactly.
it actually helps some people that are really oppressed. Some people that don't even know they are oppressed. They don't know that what they are doing is wrong. They don't know what they are going through is actually not the
Because
right
some-
thing. You can't express what you are going through. You can't complain. You have to bottle it in until it kills you from within,
Or
until
you
you
explode.
explode. And that's why you see some people going to the extreme. Someone is doing something, and from one extreme, you see her, she's a very modest sister today, and tomorrow she's just frustrated, bottled up, and she just
Yeah. So
flies to the other end.
like you said, part of the problem is actually lack of knowledge. Like Muslim women generally,
In fact, it's when you say
a lot of
something wrong
time-
that somebody can correct
a
you.
lot of times they do not have knowledge, and then they just sort of listen. They sort of listen to, like, okay, let's say now you attend this outcome, and then the Afa just says this, and then you just take it hook, line, and sinker.
Exactly.
Like while it is good to like maybe listen to lectures and like follow scholars, still you have to seek for knowledge yourself.
You should have a
sometimes-
discerning spirit.
sometimes-
Exactly.
Because
Discernment
sometimes
is very
there are
important.
some people that you should, not even sometimes, a lot of times. Oh, your glasses fell.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm apologizing in advance. This is going. Okay. Let's go.
A lot of time, people take knowledge from the wrong people.
Exactly.
And when they now apply whatever it is they've learned, it doesn't always come out good. For example, now if you have, like, there are always two extremes. You can listen to someone that says, oh, you're a Muslim woman, you cannot do this, you cannot go out of your house, you cannot do this. And then there's the other extreme end that will tell you, oh, the hijab is not compulsory, you can do whatever you like. So it's always important for you to find the right source of knowledge and for you to always maintain that balance. That balance is very important.
Inshallah, maybe by the end of this episode, we should do our own research too and put in links like in the description box below of where we can get legitimate and correct answers to like questions or problems or things like that. And that's why this kind of platform is important so that we can discuss
kind of person
what
that
is.
if I learn something from a particular person, I don't take it as it is, like as the person has said it. I compare what has this other person said.
For the
Then
research.
I also read on my own, and then I try to. If there are things that I'm not understanding, I engage people in conversation because there are some things that most times when they tell you, it doesn't actually make any sense to you, and then you feel no. I'm this kind of person that there is this attribute of Allah that I always keep in mind. Allah is just. So if I hear something that negates that principle that Allah is just, and this person is telling me this is from Islam, I said no, I doubt the legitimacy of what you have just said. So let me do my own research. Let me ask other knowledgeable people. But most of all, it is always advisable that as Muslim women, we should do our own research. There was a time I gave one of my neighbors advice concerning something, not here in Ilorin, and she was talking to me about something that had to do with her home, and I said, okay, I think you can actually talk to Allah about this. The next time I saw her, I said, how did it go? And she said she asked her malam, and her malam said she should not talk to Allah about it because it's haram.
Who else do you talk to when?
So I was like, okay, if your malam has said you should not talk to Allah about it,
Talk to Allah, like the creator.
Yes, because there's something that had to do with a husband making her unhappy because he wanted to take a second wife. And then I said, talk to Allah, tell Allah what you want. And that was not bad advice. And then the Malam said, no, if it has to do with polygamy, you cannot
Complain
you cannot
to Allah.
complain, you can because
Because it
it
was
is
one that
something
sanctioned
Allah
it.
has ordained.
Yeah, there is this attribute of every Muslim that is very important. When someone tells you something, even if you don't know, that is why you have your
Common sense.
Common sense. Even when they tell you, try it first. See if it works or not. You have to have that discernment. It's very important. Discernment is very important. They tell you not to talk to Allah.
But what if you go and research on something, even though you are wrong, and that where you think you are getting knowledge from is letting you go with what you want in your heart, even though it's not really right.
Exactly. That's why there are like certain.
Yes.
How would I put it?
Then you
There's
know in
certain
your mind that,
websites
oh,
or
this suits my
certain
purpose. That is
scholars
why I'm
that
following
will know
it.
that.
Not because it's necessarily right. That
Because
is why I always say every time to everybody that when you seek for knowledge, it's important for you to go back to the source. The source is available to all of us.
I
The
know.
Quran
If
and
you
the
are
Sunnah.
telling me
There are
something,
lots
the
of
first
these things.
thing
If it
I'll
contradicts
ask
the
you-
source, please go
The
back.
first thing I'll ask you if you're telling me anything,
Proof.
Quran or Hadith. And then you are coming to tell me, no, it's not in the Quran, it's not in the Hadith, but so scholars
Please
said,
carry
I'll be
it and go.
please, someone came into my DM and said, Sheikh so and so said. And I was like,
Is Sheikh better than the
wait,
Prophet?
and
Is he
I was
more than
like,
the
okay,
Prophet?
what was
There are different kind
no,
of hadiths too.
no, the first
Yes,
question was like,
there's
okay,
that.
he said this, but was there any reference for what he said? Like, let me see. Because as a scholar, if you are saying something, you have to let your students or whoever you are talking to know that, okay, this is where you got it from. You cannot just say, this is it, and I'm supposed to just take it like that. And she said no, that he did not actually provide any reference, but he said Sheikh and it's not legible. And I said no, I'm not going to accept this. You have to tell me where he got, because they are human beings too.
They are infallible.
They are human beings, and then you cannot say that. And people have placed them on this high pedestal that they cannot make any mistake, and that is where we are getting it wrong.
So it's just really important for us to continue to speak our truth and continue to learn, to know what is right and what is wrong, and how we can just further manage ourselves.
I'm going to say one extra thing. I've
Anyway,
noticed
time is
that.
up.
I've noticed that Muslim women, a lot of Muslim women have very low self-esteem.
Oh.
They feel if they speak up about something, they're not going to look marriageable.
Then there will be no support.
They're not going to look marriageable. So when you are dating, for example, not dating. When you are considering a brother for marriage and he's telling you trash things, and you're just okay.
Oh, you don't want to speak back because
you don't want to say what you just said. Like,
it's when the tears.
You just want to look marriageable like you're the ideal Muslim. And let me just. Do you understand?
I also think that
you're not setting your standards.
I also think that
it comes from the lack of not having their own identity. No. Like they just have the identity of a Muslim woman.
Yeah. That's why you should read.
Exactly.
No
that
things.
Is what the culture of silence does, because it kills your identity. You feel.
In fact, it doesn't even make you know things that you're supposed to know so that you can actually fight for your rights.
Aside that, when someone tells you that this is actually your right, you feel the person is your enemy, like this person does not want me to
have a happy marriage. Or
I think another problem with the culture of silence that we are always keeping silent because we think if you say this thing, nobody will support you. You need support. You need somebody else to validate. Yes, it's true.
What if you are ashamed
to raise the volume of that particular thing?
What if you are ashamed
nobody will support you?
Another reason why the culture of silence is the lack of safe spaces.
Yeah.
If something is going on and you want to speak up, who do you tell?
Exactly. You can trust. Like me now, I have plenty trust issues.
If let's say there's something going on in your home and you want to reach out to the Muslim community, they'll tell you, please be patient, it will change. If it's the problem, if it's the husband that has
also
the problem,
very important who you
tell
talk
you,
to.
Be patient,
there
it
is
will
also
change.
this thing that Muslim, I don't want to restrict it to Muslim men because it's men generally and it's what they are propagating. They are telling women are your own worst enemies.
That's just the
so
narrative,
now if a woman there's just advice they usually give married couples, and I think it's actually a very good advice that as couples you should just settle your misunderstandings in
that's good, but there's
actually a very good advice. But when things are getting extreme,
when they really need help,
and you really need help, why stick to that advice? Because if you die, nobody knows what happens.
It's not even only about death, it's about like managing your mental health, managing your relationship.
The solutions I think we can provide to this matter is number one, we need to find solid institutions within the Islamic community that people can talk to. For example, someone was telling me that for Muslim women, for Muslims to get married, there is no solid marriage counseling.
I was just talking about it last week.
Because many some are starting. When I wanted to get married, they did it for us, but it was not enough. We needed more.
Which organization?
It was UI.
UI did it.
Yes, it was not enough. We had just one session.
And it's not only about just.
Then aside, it's not even for marriage only, for lots of things. For
young
girls that
we need to normalize the Muslim
a lot of it.
Like a doctor, a proper psychiatric or a psychiatrist or psychologist, exactly. That also is like
a
knowledgeable
counselor that can counsel you. We know how to go about it. We need for careers. We need for self-esteem. We need for our health. We need for marriage.
These things are novelty to us. Like when I don't know how to put it, but
I mean,
the Muslim community feels, or the way it seems, the narrative that exists is that once you have the Quran and Sunnah, like anything that happens, just look at it in the Quran and Sunnah.
But we
But
actually
then the practical application of it and how to apply it to the daily lives, people really lack that understanding. And life coaching or therapy is not a bad thing. And one thing I'm very big on is having Muslim mental health professionals, because
That's
they are
true.
able
That's
to
true.
merge both and they can help Muslims better.
Yes.
But we do not have a lot of those people to start with.
So inshallah, I guess would just
I think it is important for us to end this culture of silence, to have institutions within the Islamic community that can help people, that people can talk to, that will help them heal the way they're supposed to heal. Then it's also important for us to speak up within the community, within society, so that the people that don't have a voice, so to say, can benefit from us.
these
Yeah,
institutions.
safe spaces are very important, and I also believe everyone should have awareness to understand that a lot of things are going on with people. Lives are not as perfect as they seem to be, and to know when to ask
Or
for
seek
help.
for help.
Ask and
Anyways,
for
that's all the time we have now. We hope you join us again next week, and we hope this have been helpful. You can also write in to us. We're going to leave our email in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.